teenager who lives on the Upper West Coast, there's a decent chance you've heard about the Shining People. If you live in Tualatin, Oregon, there's an even better chance that you've actually seen them, because they were just there. I'm a collector and hobbyist researcher of all things supernatural. I have a particular pet interest in urban legends. As with most, there's a few variants with the Shining People. But here's the core of the legend. The Shining People only appear after midnight. They only visit neighborhoods, the sort of quiet suburban streets where there's nary a grass blade out of place. They are bright. From a distance, they all look the same. They wander in silence through the roads and sidewalks, walking aimlessly along through the night's darkest hours. Usually, they simply fade away after one of these visits. But sometimes, they choose a house. They'll surround the house in silence. Some will drift in through windows. Then, in the morning, something very important will be gone forever. This is a newer legend. From everything I've studied, before getting bogged down with Chester's goddamn book, rumors about the Shining People began to circulate sometime around 2017, primarily among middle school and high school students. Most media surrounding them in this era was fairly lighthearted. Kids trading stories of what they'd seen on social media, or posting videos of themselves doing stakeouts in their neighborhood, hoping to catch a glimpse. Then, as we approach 2023, I notice this tone begins to kind of fade away in online social circles. Videos and posts got unceremoniously deleted. I'd thought maybe it had simply fallen out of fashion. Then I got a phone call from a girl we'll call May, who asked for my help regarding recent events in her neighborhood. I need something to protect. Spells, talismans, whatever it is people like you make. I think they're coming to my house next, and I need to keep them out. I saw some of your posts on the forum. Well, it got some stuff right, but a lot wrong. You said they take something from a house, but they don't take just something. They take teenagers. The youngest to disappear from my neighborhood had just turned 13. The oldest was at the tail end of 18. He was almost safe. Also, they do have faces. You just have to get close enough to see them. I think I was about 14 when they first started showing up around Tualatin. I overheard some guys talking about it in homeroom. They said that the Shining People walked out from the woods behind her house. Next day, someone else was saying they'd walked right past her house, scaring her dog so bad that it hid under the bed and wouldn't come out until morning. It was like every day there was a new rumor about them, a new sighting, a new grainy picture taken on someone's phone at 1 a.m. I thought it was bullshit at first, to be honest. Sure, everyone at school was talking about it, but only teenagers. No teachers weighed in on it. No adults claimed to have seen it. Every adult and little kid in our neighborhoods somehow slept right through this crowd of glowing figures sweeping through the streets night after night. That just didn't make sense to me. It had to be a meme or mass teen hysteria or something. It wasn't until my friends Ashley and Dana dragged me out for a stakeout that I actually saw the Shining People for myself. Dana borrowed her dad's car and we parked it right by his house. I thought it was a waste of time. They told me I had to be patient. We waited 2 hours into the night, and I was just about to leave and walk home when the first one came through the trees. They're just a little taller than a person should be. They're all shaped the same, or at least they look that way from a distance. They shine so bright it actually hurts your eyes. It's like this white glow tinged with blue, like radiation. Unless you're close enough to really see, they look like walking blanks, just outlines of people. We sat and watched them walk by in silence for maybe an hour. They walked right next to our car, even bumping up against the sides, but they didn't seem to notice us. There seemed like an endless number of them, just flooding out from the woods, slowly following each other out to the road and the sidewalk. Another thing your post didn't mention is how sick you get if you're too close to them. I thought we were at a safe distance, hidden and watching from the car, but we all started feeling sick when we got back to Dana's house. We took turns throwing up in the bathroom, like some assembly line, just in and out, puking our guts out. I had a pounding headache for days after that. No amount of painkillers could get rid of. My vision even went blurry for a bit. Since then, I've only ever watched them from my window. They used to come every week or two. Lately, it's almost every night. It was fun before kids started disappearing. It felt like we all had this collective secret that the adults couldn't. I remember when I saw them surround the house of the girl across the street. I actually thought she was lucky, because her house must be something special if they were willing to get so close and stay so long. And then, the next morning, I saw that she didn't walk out to catch the bus. She didn't the next morning, or the next, or any morning after that. She was gone. I didn't ask too many questions at first. I wasn't close to her, and I figured maybe she moved or got mono or something. But then it happened again with a boy from my math class, then a girl from the basketball team, and more just winking out of existence. Obviously, every student in school noticed and started talking about it, but the teachers and the administration didn't say a word. No one called those lost kids' names during attendance. No one but us asked after them. It was like they'd never gone to school there. One night, I got some texts from Dana. I can send them to you if you want to see. Dana, May, they're outside my house, standing in the yard. Dana, they won't leave. They keep staring at me. Please come get me, please. May, I'll drive over. There's one at the window. I've never seen a face like that. Its eyes are so big. Dana, it's familiar. It almost looks like. Dana, it's reaching through. Hide in the closet or go downstairs or something. I'm driving over now. Dana, it's reaching through. I was scared out of my mind, but I've known Dana since elementary. So I stole the keys to my mom's car and drove over to her house. By the time I got there, the shining people were gone. I threw pebbles at her bedroom window to get her attention, but there was no answer. I didn't want to get in trouble, but not knowing had me sick to my stomach. So I started ringing the doorbell over and over and over. Well, her mom answered, mad as hell. She asked me what I was doing, and I asked if Dana was home, and said I got a concerning text from her. Her mom asked me, "Who's Dana? Who's Dana?" She had no idea. I'd been over at this house to have playdates with Dana when I was little, and her mom was looking at me like I was some kind of crazy stranger. I argued with her, showed her photos and videos of Dana, and it did nothing. I didn't have a photo of the two of them together, but even if I did, I don't think it would have made a difference. Dana was gone from her memory. I left when she threatened to call the cops. I went home, locked myself in my room, and cried. It was happening all over town pretty soon after. No one could convince the parents of lost kids that they'd lost a kid to begin with. Even younger and older siblings seemed to forget the brothers and sisters they lost, unless they were teens too. It was all anyone could talk about at school. Who'd been lost the night before? Who would be next? How we could protect ourselves. People started sleeping in groups or staying up all night with weapons. I usually lock myself in the basement with a knife. Some kids have skipped town entirely, but that's not a solution. Just a fast way to end up homeless, assuming the shining people don't just follow you out of town anyway. Teachers treat us like we were crazy, or else they think it's some school-wide meme that everyone is in on. Nobody who matters believes us, and we watch while more of us are taken. The last few nights, the shining people have been hanging around my front yard. Every night, they get a little closer and stare a little longer. I've been sick nonstop. I can't sleep, and I feel like my heart's gonna pound out of chest all the time. I'm not stupid. I know what's coming. I don't want to die or disappear or whatever it is they're doing to us. That this got taken, and he tried staying up with his dad's hunting rifle, so I know guns won't work. You need to give me something that will work. I'll pay anything. I'll do anything. I just need to get through the next few years. Don't let them take me. Please, please. Obviously, I did what I could. I shipped some things to her overnight, a grab bag of talismans, instructions for laying down wards, charms, pretty much anything I could think of that would fit in the package. It was all guesswork, unfortunately. I didn't know enough about the shining people to be able to provide much more than that. Also, obviously, I flew out to visit Tualatin 2 days later to see the shining people for myself. I rented a car and staked out a neighborhood. It was around 3 a.m. that I saw them walking toward us. They were just like May described, impossibly bright and strangely proportioned. I had the weird sense that if I tried to touch one, my hand would pass right through. I'd brought my dog Midge with me, and she was growling furiously from the windows. But the closer they came, the more she lost her nerve. When they were a stone's throw away from our car, she ducked down from her seat and hid under the dashboard, shaking like a leaf. I didn't blame her, but I also didn't have the same option if I wanted to learn anything about them. I stepped out of the car with a scraper in hand, hoping to get some kind of skin sample or something that I could study back home. Boy, May wasn't kidding about the sickness. I felt my entire stomach flip as one of them drew near, and my head shot through with the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced. And I've experienced a lot. I gritted my teeth against the pain and approached with the scraper, but it was no use. It turned its head toward me, staring at me blankly with the biggest eyes I've ever seen, and a face that was alien, but also somehow so familiar. My heart started pounding, as bad as my head was, panic rising in me like bile. The shining person took a step toward me as others passed me by. Then another, and another. I was frozen in place. It let its hand hover a hair's breadth from my eyes, and everything went dark. It was light out when I woke up again at dawn, passed out in some poor bastard's lawn. Midge was curled at my side, waiting for me to wake up. The strangest thing was, when I did, I'd almost forgotten about the shining people entirely. There was a solid 10 minutes or so of me being awake and having no idea what I was doing there. No memory even of leaving my house. I had to claw back the memory bit by bit, like it was a hazy dream on the verge of slipping away. And the more I remembered, the worse my head hurt. It's been a week since then, and I'm still nursing the remnants of that headache. I have to make an active effort to even remember that I saw the shining people, or it starts to slip away again. Even my conversation with May is constantly on the verge of being forgotten for some reason. Or stranger yet, I sometimes remember the conversation, but forget the person I had it with, as though it was just a blank space that had spoken with me. I'll probably make another trip out and try again to get a sample at some point. At least, the trip yielded a few leads I can follow up on. For now, here's hoping that the youth of Tualatin can hold its own, at least until the shining people choose a new place to wander.